Morning again.
Yeah, 7:41. Let's look at the papers this morning. The Times has Jeremy Hunt claiming Britain is stuck in a low-growth trap after official figures showed the nation faces a sustained period of high interest rates.
And in the Telegraph, we're told the Prime Minister is planning the biggest expansion of private sector involvement in the NHS since the Blair era.
We don't seem to have those front pages for you, so let's ditch all of that and just go straight to John McTernan and Candice Holdsworth, who are going to give us their take on what's going on today. Good to see you both this morning. Let's kick off with the Telegraph, Candice. And it looks like oil prices may spike again.
Yeah, so this is a very interesting story in the Telegraph. So Prince Mohammed bin Salman is putting up oil prices. People think it's to compensate for the big borrowing on his new city in the desert, Neom. And this is also happening alongside Russia's supply cuts as well. So the big question is, does this justify just continuing to extract as much oil as we can from the North Sea and have as much energy security and independence as possible so we're not as subject to external factors like this? So maybe Rishi Sunak's timing is very good.
What I don't understand with this, though, I don't know if either of you know, but isn't it a case that even if we're sort of using our own oil, we've still got to funnel it through the global market, which will affect the price?
Yeah, we do. Because it's produced in British seas, it doesn't mean we can set British prices. The price of oil is set by the global market. If there's an international shortage, it makes North Sea oil fields more profitable because the price goes up. It doesn't cut the price at the petrol pump. And for me, the fluctuations with Saudi and with the Russians affecting the oil price, it says, well, let's keep going to renewables. Let's use our own wind, our own sea to generate, our own hydro to generate power that's under British control and is like it's the cheapest energy in the country at the moment.
So it would be better to invest in an energy that is British controlled than one that is controlled by who? Who sets the
So in the OPEC in the 1970s. In response to Israel winning the 1973 Arab-Israel war, the oil-producing countries got together and they said, we are going to start a boycott of countries that support Israel. And so out of that, they create an organisation which then starts to actually, rather than do boycotts, let's raise prices. And they worked out supply and demand, so the pricing of so if you slow down the supply, the price goes up because the demand is there. And so that caused the recession of the late 70s, the oil price shock. And in a sense, we're still living in that world. And the power that they realised they got. Russia's not really a member, but Russia works in alignment, I think, doesn't it, Candice? Russia and the Saudis and the OPEC.
It basically goes to show there's no hope on the horizon, Candice.
Yeah, although with getting supplies from the North Sea, especially if you're looking at it in terms of emissions, there's less than if you're getting LNG, natural gas imports, say, from America, which we're
4 times less.
Yes, which we're really reliant on at the moment. So there are trade-offs and benefits.
There would be, except because it's global, British oil tends to go to where our oil wants to be used, which is it's refined externally and it's sold externally, and we bring into our refineries oil from other countries. The globalisation makes it really hard not just to set the price locally for oil produced in the North Sea, but to actually guarantee that we would then refine it and use it here. So the market is so integrated, it's very artificial to say we could have British gas or we could have British oil or we could have LNG. In the end, we're going to have to the one thing that Greenpeace are right about is we're going to have to stop using oil and gas. Otherwise, the kind of burning and fires we saw in the Mediterranean in recent weeks, that's going to be more and more common. And so for our energy security, which I agree with Candice about, we need energy security, let's go to renewables, but let's actually go to using less energy. Let's actually insulate our Victorian Edwardian housing stock. Great homes for people, but they're a bit leaky with heat. So
they're very leaky with heat, aren't they?
So we really have to put, and possibly lots of really good working class jobs.
All right, well, let's connect this, Candice, to the Express and the Mail, because looking at Greenpeace and their, in effect, Just Stop Oil activism at the Prime Minister's home.
It's a really key point you make, because in the article, in the Express article, they were saying that the new leadership who've taken over Greenpeace, they actually want to move away from what they believe to be their middle-aged tactics, and they want to be more like Extinction Rebellion and more like Just Stop Oil.
The groups that are driving us all crackers.
Exactly, and I was, we were talking in the break, I was saying, I just wonder what the role of social media is in all this. So it's incentivising this sort of sensationalist behaviour. You're violating boundaries, but all you're thinking about is a clip you want to put online to get attention. It's so negative. I really don't agree with it. And actually, you don't advance your cause. Everyone just ends up talking about them. So you don't advance the cause.
Although I think it's a really good point you make there. I think the social media point, we discussed it, which is that we live in an attention economy, and the thing that's incentivised is the shock, the talking point. And so we wouldn't be talking about Greenpeace if they'd given a petition to the House of Commons.
No.
And for a lot of the day, I suspect people will be sending messages to different presenters on the shows across the day talking about this issue.
Yes,
now,
yes,
No, but they're talking about
negative
stuff.
stuff.
They changed the conversation by being so outrageous. We're talking about their activism and the way they're demonstrating and whether that's acceptable. We're not talking about their issues.
And I think what Candice is talking about is there's a perverse incentive in a way, which is to get attention to the surface, not to the detail. Because what we need to talk about is the substance, and we've got an issue. I think.
But someone like me who would have sort of has supported Greenpeace in the past when I was younger, and now would be a sort of what you call a soft supporter of Greenpeace.
A middle-aged supporter of middle-aged tactics.
But now they wouldn't be getting any of my money now.
It's the problem, because you need to bring people on side, and you need to be mature about that, and you need to be able to advance your argument and have respect for people, that they can understand where you're coming from, rather than trying to shock them or alarm them. I mean, that's so childish.
But don't you think, just the point you made about social media, is their media people will be literally looking for the number of hits.
Exactly.
They'll say 3 million hits on Twitter or something.
And that has a half-life. That's what people don't realise. You don't get long credibility from that. You'll get a short burst of attention, but you don't build up the sort of reputation you need to affect real change.
And don't think I didn't notice, John, that you pointed out I was middle-aged there. I mean, what a bloody liberty. It's true, but nevertheless.
I'm sorry I can't say the truth on your show.
Well, I'm sorry, what is middle age?
Well, this is it.
We need to revisit that.
No, I still claim, I'm in my 60s, I claim to be middle-aged. So.
Yeah, my parents say they're just entering middle age now. They're in their late 70s.
OK, you clearly are still a youth.
A youth.
Yeah, he's a young man.
I'm a 50-year-old youth.
He's a young man.
There you go. Should we have a look? Oh, let's have a look at this one, John, because we're getting a bit tired for that. The Star, and we're turning into slapheads if we go in the sun too much.
Well, it's really interesting, isn't it? What happens when the sun British people take off their clothes? What happens? They go pink as lobsters.
Yes, they do.
Wherever they are in the world, they don't take care of their bodies, and there's a real risk on that. But I suspect for men, this might go straight to their vanity, which is, well, maybe I should put on a hat, because the story says it's not simply the sun, it's going out in the sun without a hat on. So, and hats...
What stops your hair growing?
Hats, it stops the sun damaging your hair and increasing the risk of baldness. Because sun damages our skins. We know, all women know that sun damages skin. We should all take more care about our skin and sunburn. But this is actually another effect. You don't really see it as well because it's on the top of your head. And so the advice is what I think any sun cancer charity would give, which is, put on sunscreen, wear sunglasses, put on a hat.
Yep.
Isn't it slip, slap, slop?
Yeah, don't go out, wear dark glasses, wear long sleeves.
Yeah, but men, we do not want to go bald.
I know exactly.
This is it. It's a very good campaign.
Well, they always say if you want to campaign about anything, hit people in the vanity.
Yes, although
and
the
men
worst is when you get burnt in your partying like that. Because how do you put sun cream there? It's just the most awkward place in the world.
No, you've got to wear a hat.
So you've always got to wear a hat.
Got to wear a hat.
Well, there you go. Lovely, good to see you both this morning. We'll catch up with you a little bit later on.